Welcome back. 6.3a. So in this section we are going to look at how to find the trig function values for different angles. So the first thing you have to do is first thing I have to do actually is to tell you about reference angle. So what is a reference angle? So remember we learned that an angle will be in standard position if we put the vertex of the angle on the origin and then put the initial side of the angle on the x-axis, positive x-axis, and then the terminal ray can be anywhere in the quadrants or on the axes. So that's the first thing we have to do. First thing, we draw the angle. So the terminal ray will be anywhere in the quadrants, and then we will find something called reference angle. So what is the reference angle? Reference angle will be the angle that the terminal ray or terminal side of the angle makes with the x-axis, the shorter angle which the terminal side makes with the x-axis. So for example, the 225. Now how will I figure out where the terminal ray of 225 is? Well, if you think about the known angles with which we have been working, well, 270 is something we know where it is, 180 is something we know where it is. So can we get 225 by adding or subtracting an angle? So in this case, if I add 45, I will get 225. And in this first case, if I subtract 45, I'll get 225. So you can check that. So now we came to know that our terminal ray will be, so if we go with 180, so 180 and then pi over 4, so it will be here. So this angle, which is the terminal ray is making with the x-axis, that we know is the 45-degree angle. So now cosine of 225 will have the numeric value of the cosine of 225 will be the same as the numeric value of cosine of 45. The only difference will be that this will have a negative sign with it. So we know that cosine of 45 degree is square root of 2 over 2. Therefore, cosine of 225 will be equal to negative square root of 2 over 2. Okay, looking at next 120. So 120 degrees is here, the terminal ray is in the second quadrant, and we have to find the cosecant of 120. So in order to do that, I will first find the sine of 120. So sine of my reference angle now will be, this angle, remember, is 60 degrees. So what is the sine of 60 degrees? Sine of 60 degrees is equal to square root of 3 over 2. So cosecant of 16 degrees, cosecant of 120. So sine of 120 will be the same as this, but the cosecant of 120 will be now 2 over square root of 3, which when rationalized give us 2 square root of 3 over 3. 330. So where will 330 be? It will be all the way over here, where this angle is, sorry, this is 300, okay, 300. So this angle should be 60. So about here, so that this angle is 60 degrees. So this is the reference angle. So it means the secant of 300 will be the same as the secant of 60, because in the first and the fourth quadrant the secant is positive. So cosine of 60 is 1/2. So secant of 60 will be 2. So secant of 300 is the same as secant of 60 degrees, so which will be equal to 2. Okay, now we work with negative angles. So negative 210. So now we go in this direction. So negative 210. So negative 210 can be thought of as negative 180 plus 30. So which means we go from here and we have, and so this angle is 30 and this is your reference angle. So remember, the tangent of 30 degrees is square root of 3 over 3. And in the second quadrant, the sign is positive, tangent is negative. Why? Because cosine is negative. So we will have this is equal to negative square root of 3 over 3. Now sine of negative 135. 135 is, again, if you look at 180 and subtract 45, we get 135. Okay, so it means if we are coming from here, we will land in the second quadrant, where this will be 45 degrees. So sine of negative, sorry, we have to do negative, sorry, we have to go from here. So we will be arriving here, where this is 45 degrees. So we say that the sine of negative 35 will be the same as negative of sine of 45 degrees. So sine of 45 degrees is 1 square root of 2 over 2. So sine of negative 135 will be negative square root of 2 over 2. Next is cotangent of 0. Now 0 is just 0, right? If you draw, it's just the 0 angle is at just over here. So tangent of 0 is, remember, sine of 0 over cosine of 0. Sine of 0 is 0, cosine of 0 is 1, so this is 0. But cotangent of 0 will be, it is cosine of 0 over sine of 0, so it will be 1 over 0, which is undefined. Moving forward, the next example is same thing, but now our angle is in radian measure. So we will do the same thing that we did previously. We have to figure out where the terminal ray of this will end up. So in order to do this, you can take your unit circle and then divide it into pieces like pi over 3. So 1 pi over 3, 2 pi over 3, then this will be 3 pi over 3, this will be 4 pi over 3, and this will be 5 pi over 3, and then this will be 6 pi over. So these are our lines. So if you start, you can go like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we land in the third quadrant. Or you can do it like this. You can divide the 16 by 3. 3 5s are 15. 1 left. So that I can write 16 pi over 3 is equal to 5 plus 1 over 3 pi, which means 5 pi plus pi over 3. So now I can draw the angle in the standard position. So it means for initial ray is over here, initial side is over here, and final side. So you can see pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, 5 pi. So 5 pi and then pi over 3. So it lands us in this with this angle pi over 3. So now I can erase those circles and I can just say this is pi over 3. So the cosine will have the numerical value, cosine of 16 pi over 3 will have the numerical value same as cosine of pi over 3, but with the negative sign. So cosine of pi over 3 is 1/2. Therefore this value will be negative 1/2. Looking at the next example, we have negative 9 pi over 4. So 9 pi over 4 is equal to 2 pi plus pi over 4. Okay. Now if we have a negative sign here, then we have a negative sign out here. So when we draw this, when we draw the angle in the standard position, so we have negative 2 pi and then pi over 4. So we end up here. So sine of, and this angle is pi over 4, the reference angle. Our sine of pi over 4 is sine of pi over 4 we know is square root of 2 over 2, but because we are in the fourth quadrant, our value will be negative and we are looking for cosecant. So cosecant of pi over 4 will be 2 over 2, and we have found that it is square root 2. But we are supposed to find cosecant of negative 9 pi over 4. Now if you don't want to write these this, that's fine. You can directly come here if you know what you are doing. So we get negative square root of 2. Now don't assume that whenever we have a negative angle, we are always going to get a negative value. Sometimes we could get a positive value. Okay, so tangent of 5 pi over 2. So sorry, so third one is negative 4 pi over 3. The angle is negative 4 pi over 3. So it means we go in the clockwise direction. So we get pi over 3, 2 pi over 3, 3 pi over 3, 4 pi over 3. So it will be an angle which is pi over 3. This angle is pi over 3, reference angle. So this is going to be our angle, because our angle is from here to here, which is negative 4 pi over 3. So secant, we need to find cosine. So cosine of, you can directly write cosine of negative 4 pi over 3 will be equal to, now remember it will be the same value as the value of cosine of pi over 3, but with a negative sign. So this will be negative 1/2. So that secant of negative 4 pi over 3 is 2. Okay, next is tangent of 5 pi over 2. So you can see pi over 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So tangent of 5 pi over 2 is basically the same as tangent of pi over 2. So what is that? Remember sine over cosine. So which will be 1 over 0. So undefined. Whenever 0 is in the denominator, the value is undefined. Okay, next one, negative pi over 6. Negative 5 pi over 6. So we'll land here, because when we go positive pi over 6, we land there. In the case of negative, we land in the third quadrant, and we are looking for the sine. So this angle is pi over 6. This is the reference angle. So we get sine is equal to negative 1/2. Next one, I think this is the last one. So cotangent of negative 13 pi over 6. So you can see this is, if you divide 13 by 6, 6 2 are 13, 12, 1 here. So this can be written as, I mean, we don't have to write it, just that we need to draw it. We need to put it in the place. So it means 2 pi, 2 whole rounds, and then pi over 6. So when I draw it, negative 1, 2, and then pi over 6. So it means our, and we land over here, where this is pi over 6. So this will be the same as cosine of negative 13 pi over 6 divided by sine of negative 13 pi over 6. So cosine of negative 13 pi over 6 will be the same as cosine of pi over 6, because in fourth quadrant cosine is positive. So cosine of pi over 6 is square root of 3 over 2 divided by sine of negative 13 pi over 6. Now the sine will be negative 1/2. So answer will be negative square root of 3. Okay, so this is how we do these problems.